where we hear from speakers to specific agenda items. And there are no registered speakers for today's meeting. So, team of 10, we're ready. This is a momentous day for the Houston Independent School District and the City of Houston. The Board of Education has unanimously voted to appoint Mr. Millard House II to serve as our next permanent superintendent of HISD. Mr. House comes to us from Clarksville, Tennessee, where he has led the Clarksville-Montgomery County School System as its director of schools. His remarkable achievements there won state and national recognition, and he has had a profound impact on students' academic achievement throughout his career in education. We are confident that he brings the leadership and innovation that we need to continue improving our outcomes for the children of HISD. Mr. House exemplifies all the key qualities outlined in our nationwide superintendent search criteria, which were developed from input with our HISD community. I would like to thank all of those parents, students, staff, and other Houstonians who provided that guidance to us. Thanks also to my board colleagues and our outside firm, JG Consulting, which helped us conduct a thorough and thoughtful search to find the best superintendent candidate. I especially want to recognize Dr. Granita Lathan for her outstanding leadership of this district as interim superintendent for the past 3 years. This board is very grateful for her commitment to education and her steadfast support of our children. It is now my pleasure to introduce to you Mr. Millard House II.
Good afternoon. It is both an honor and a pleasure to be here at the helm of the HISD public school system. It brings me great pleasure to not only bring my family, but to bring my expertise to this community. I will, of course, miss the students and employees and community members that I've built strong relationships with over the course of the last several years. I learned a lot from talented educators in my school system, especially in the Clarksville-Montgomery County school system. I plan to utilize the professional experience from Tennessee, North Carolina, and Oklahoma, and continue to focus on equity, innovation to lead HISD. I want to first of all, before I go any further, thank a wonderful, spirited board of trustees behind me. Let's give them a hand, please. Really looking forward to working with them, and also looking forward to continue to build a relationship. Thank you, JG Consulting, for the work that you all continue to do in public schools across the state of Texas. I will be working, of course, with my current school board in Tennessee to develop a great transition plan to ensure that the children in the Clarksville-Montgomery County school system continue to move forward in the manner that they need to. I think it was John Maxwell that said, people buy into leaders before they buy into vision. And I want this community to know and to understand that I'm going to do what it takes to have that buy-in to happen, not only from these ladies behind me, but also this community abroad. Thank you for the opportunity, and we look forward to making a difference. Thank you.
With no further business today to discuss, the meeting of the board is adjourned. The time is now 12:06 on May 21st, 2021. Thank you.
Good deal.
On? Okay. Mr. House, my name's Maya Shea from Channel 13 with the ABC station here in Houston. Welcome to Houston. I was wondering if you can talk to us about why you decided to take this job, given the uncertainty of the situation here as the state's largest school district and the threatening takeover by the state of Texas, and why you you think this would be a good fit for you, given the uncertainty of whether or not the board will be here in a year or two.
I didn't realize that there was any kind of takeover. That's a joke, just FYI.
Yeah, yes, I understand you're a member of also Chiefs for Change, which also has
Yep.
a specific history when it comes to state takeovers and your
Right.
view of that. If you could address the cameras right in front, you don't have to look at me
Absolutely.
directly.
So,
that'd be great.
a lot of people focus on challenges in terms of new jobs, opportunity. I focus on the opportunities. There are great people here in HISD. I think we have the tools in our tool belt to move beyond some of the drama and the issues that have been plagued by this school system. So we're really looking forward to building the capacity, building a united front, not only with state officials, but also people from the State Department of Education as well. I'm a uniter, and I'm an individual that brings people together. So I'm looking forward to doing that from the legislative standpoint, the state standpoint, and we will be a united front to do what's best for children moving forward.
So does that mean you're pro-takeover or anti-takeover?
We're looking forward to ensure that we build the relationships. We're not looking for the school system to be taken over or this board to be taken over. We're looking forward to providing what's needed and showing that we have the capacity to do so.
So you will actively fight as the court system is going on, you will actively be on the anti-takeover side of the message?
It's a focus on doing both. It's a focus on showing that we have the capacity to do what's necessary, and I don't see it as a fight. I see it as working together to show that that capacity is here.
And can you talk about?
You mentioned that you are a uniter. How do you think that will help the school district overall, and more specifically, I'm told to go to the mic. Hi, I'm
Okay.
Donnelly Keith with Fox 26 News. And you said you're a uniter. How do you think that will help the district overall, and more specifically in avoiding a state takeover?
You know, it's something that I shared with the board a couple days ago that I heard from someone I respect dearly, is that, conflict happens in many instances, but drama is a choice. We look forward to working through conflict. We look forward to ensuring that we don't have drama at any level, from the school level all the way to the state level. So this is something that we will focus on as a team, as a board of trustees, to ensure that everyone understands from one side of the state to the next, the legislature, the State Board of Education, they understand that we have the capacity to do what's necessary, and we will move forward.
Hi there, sir. Thanks again for your time. Brandon Walker, KPRC TV. You mentioned legislatively, that's a great point. There is a bill making its way through the state capitol right now that would circumvent essentially the courts amid this fight to take over the board. It's going through some revisions and whatnot, but one of the sponsors, who is a state representative from the northeast part of our area here, says that for years, the Houston Independent School District has failed students, particularly in northeast Houston, and so the system as such hasn't worked, and so it needs not exist in its current stance. What do you say to that, and how do you convince him otherwise?
It's about continuous improvement. It's about making sure that we provide what's necessary for all students. When my board chair talked a little bit about me earlier, she talked about equity. And I want to focus on ensuring that we provide the equitable experiences that ensure that our students are college and career ready. So that takes work, that takes planning, that takes continuous improvement, and that's something that I've shown that I do focus on and will continue that focus right here at HISD.
If I could ask Dr. Allen, what were of all of the candidates that you considered for this, what were the biggest factors that ultimately led you and the board to select Mr. House?
As a board, we had a lot of qualified candidates. JG Consulting gave us some of the best candidates that were on the record, that were available to us. And so there was a hard decision to make because we had so many qualified candidates, but we had to do what we had to do. So we came out with what we consider the best candidate of all the good candidates.
What were either things in his background, track record, qualities that you saw that really defined him that led to this pick?
All of his qualifications were impeccable. They were outstanding. And he did a fantastic job in his previous experience, positions. And we believe, actually, we're going to say that we know that he will do an outstanding job here in HISD. A team of 10.
I have a question over here.
Hi, Dr. Allen.
Hi, Donnelly.
How are you?
Fine.
So more specifically, how do you think Mr. House just absolutely fits with HISD, and what do you think he will do for the kiddos in the district?
Well, we feel that that it's not just his leadership profile, that he has the goal and his entire conversation is on children and being successful and helping the children to accomplish. All of his conversation with us to put the children first, not the leadership, children first, not a specific kind, children first. And as you heard him say earlier, when the North was referenced, he considers the full entire district and all of the students in it.
Mr. House, Jason Miles, KHOU 11 News. I happen to work in Memphis before Houston, covered the largest school district in that state. I know Clarksville is quite a bit smaller than that district, but certainly much smaller than HISD. How will you do things differently relative to a 40,000 student district compared to a 200,000+ student district? And inevitably there may be some concerns in Houston about that difference.
Absolutely, and Clarksville, of course, is the seventh largest school district in the state of Tennessee with just under 37,000 students. But it's about scale. I've had the opportunity to work in 3 school districts over the course of my career. And during that time, especially with my time and having the opportunity to work in a school district like the Charlotte-Mecklenburg School District, which is one of the largest school districts in the country, I think at number 15. So I've had the opportunity to see that work at scale, and my hope and aspirations is to take the systems and processes that I've learned in all of my administrative opportunities and build on what we have here. And I want to emphasize build. A lot of times it's not about recreating the wheel. There are some great things going on in HISD. There are also some things that we know that are opportunities that we'll need to focus on as well. So we'll take all of those experiences from Tennessee, Oklahoma, North Carolina, the fellowships that I've been on as well, and build a strong house that we know will be what our students need for the future.
Mr. House, as a prominent members of Chiefs for Change, which policies have generally leaned toward pro-charter schools, pro-state takeovers. In fact, your CEO has been interviewed in media reports within the last few years, talking specifically about HISD takeovers, charter schools, and other stuff that are traditionally teachers' unions work very actively to fight against. So when you come here and all the teachers are watching this news conference and other things, they're going to ask, how do we know your going to be fighting for the values of HISD and the teachers? And are those concerns legitimate? Because people are going to come in and say, this is the charter school guy. This is the guy that's pro-state takeover. That's a group that he belongs to. This looks like a guy the Morath would point. How do you allay those fears?
I'm a public school guy that focuses on educating children. And yes, Chiefs for Change may have had a particular focus at one time, but their focus is on educating students at a high level, not takeovers. I look forward to working with our teachers' unions. I look forward to working with our leaders to build capacity and ensure that we're the best school system in the nation.
What are your feelings toward magnet programs? Also a very controversial issue here in HISD. There was going to be some magnet program changes. They pulled that back right before you were named. Are you supportive of magnet programs?
Very much so. I actually attended a Booker T. Washington High School in Tulsa, Oklahoma, which was one of the top magnet schools in the country, top magnet schools in the state of Oklahoma. So very fond of what magnets can provide in terms of opportunities for students. And it's something from an innovation standpoint that we will continue to build in this community. So opportunity, innovation is definitely something that we'll continue to push.
Thank you, everyone.
Can I ask some questions to Spanish board members? Holy Maria, yeah, no, it'll be in Spanish.
Está bien.
¿Me quieres acompañar?
Bye.
Thank you, Dennis.
Venga, venga.
Vamos.
Hola, buenas tardes. Soy Carlos de Pavía de Telemundo. Quiero preguntarles si me pueden explicar cuál fue el proceso de selección del Dr. House y por qué lo seleccionaron a él.
Pues, hola Carlos, gracias por estar aquí hoy. Le quiero decir algo que para mí, solamente siendo la representante de la mesa directiva para el Distrito 1, Mr. House tuvo un espíritu muy gran cuando estaba diciendo que he builds his own. He wants to come in and build our teachers up. Right now, teachers are the most powerful resource that we have. Lo que tenemos hoy es nuestros maestros son el recurso más necesitado para nuestros estudiantes. Y Mr. House ha dedicado su tiempo en levantar a nuestros maestros y eso es lo que necesitamos ahorita. Los estudiantes necesitamos los mejores maestros y que le pueden pagar bien, ¿verdad? Gracias.
Holy María Flynn Vilaseca, si me puede decir qué ocurre si el Estado llega a tomar control, la Agencia de Educación de Texas llegara a control del Distrito Escolar de Houston y cómo el Dr. House podrá evitar que eso suceda.
Bueno, es que empezamos el proceso desde hace meses y trabajamos con el consultorio. Ellos están aquí presentes ahora, que para poner en marcha un proceso que tiene fechas asignadas, que incluye lo que dice la comunidad, lo que piensan acerca de lo que deberíamos tener como el próximo superintendente aquí de Houston ISD. Entonces ya llevamos a cabo 2 meses o más, no sé cuántas horas, 80 horas de trabajo más, en escoger el próximo líder de esta comunidad, de nuestra comunidad. Estamos muy orgullosas de haber escogido a alguien que realmente ya tiene bastante experiencia y está dispuesto a servir a todo el mundo, todos los estudiantes aquí de Houston ISD. Estamos muy orgullosas de haber escogido a alguien y tenemos mucha confianza en lo que viene.
Si me puede decir, Judith Cruz, por favor,
Sí.
está bien su español, ¿verdad?
Claro.
Bueno, gracias.
Yo creo.
A la comunidad, ¿qué le diría? Vemos 4 miembros de la mesa directiva hispanas, pero ahora, ¿cómo se va a enfocar? 61% de la población de estudiantes es latina. ¿Cómo se va a lograr enfocar hacia la población latina y sacarlos adelante en su programa, en su currículo?
Sí, gracias. Y como dijo nuestro nuevo superintendente, el señor House, el enfoque es todos los estudiantes y eso es lo importante. Y cuando el enfoque es en todos los estudiantes, los latinos, los afroamericanos, todos se levantan y reciben la educación que ellos merecen. Entonces, el enfoque tiene que siempre ser todos, no algunos, no aquellos, pero todos.
Finalmente, para Dani Hernández, estamos en la época todavía de COVID. El plan para iniciar el año escolar, ¿cómo va a ser con la nueva directriz del superintendente House?
¿Cómo va a ser?
¿Cómo se va a hacer? ¿Va a ser recomienda más virtual, híbrido, en persona, ya rumbo al próximo año escolar?
Pues ahorita vamos a trabajar como un equipo de 10 para poder discutir todo eso. Todavía estamos esperando direcciones del Estado para saber más información, pero vamos a trabajar juntos como un equipo de 10 para poder seguir dándole la información a la comunidad para que pueda saber exactamente lo que vamos a hacer.
Thank you.
Una pregunta más para alguno de los miembros en español. ¿Hubo algo en específico del señor House en su currículum, de su trayectoria como superintendente, que de alguna manera destaque su participación o su interacción con la comunidad, con estudiantes hispanos? Porque sabemos, como decíamos, esa es una mayoría en donde estudiantes hispanos que requieren aprender el idioma inglés y que requieren de mucha ayuda.
Sí, bueno, gracias, JJ. Pues vino con un plan de acción para nuestros estudiantes latinos que necesitamos la ayuda para poder enfocar a los déficits, ¿cómo se desafíos. Y Mr. House vino y los dio un plan muy bueno, un plan que vamos a enfocar en nuestros estudiantes. Y la cosa más importante de Mr. House fue que él vino y dijo lo que los maestros es el recurso más grande para nuestros estudiantes. Y eso tenemos fe como un equipo de 10 que vamos a enfocar en las necesidades de todos nuestros estudiantes.
Gracias.
Que siga la fiesta.
I didn't know we were doing the last hug over here. Let me try to get my skin.
You better get
Murder, get over here.